What's up, guys? My name is Bryce, and this is my very first public video for my ethics class. And tonight I'm gonna be talking about what is philosophy and what are arguments. So let's dive into what is philosophy. So philosophy is a way of thinking. It is a study of questions involving various topics relating to our existence. Now, examples of philosophical questions are like, what is happiness? Is it better to be feared or respected? And what is free will? Now, the purpose of philosophy and an argument is to persuade someone or to present reasons to accept conclusions. That's all I have for philosophy. Now let's get into arguments. So an argument is a conclusion supported by premises. And a logically valid argument means if the premise is true, then the conclusion is true. So the premises lead to the conclusion. Now, an example of this is that a queeb goes to Morehouse. All Morehouse students are men. Thus, a queeb is a man. Now, the argument pattern that is used is called modus ponens. So, if A, then B. A, therefore B. Now, not all arguments are logically valid. Now, when we look at an argument, we really want to look at three questions. And those questions that we want to ask are these arguments logically valid? And if they are logically valid, the second thing you want to ask is, what is the argument pattern? And lastly, we want to ask is this argument sound? Now, it doesn't matter if the argument is true or false. What matters is that the premise leads to the conclusion. For example, either the Kansas City Chiefs or the San Francisco 49ers will win the Super Bowl. The Chiefs did not win the Super Bowl. Thus, the 49ers won the Super Bowl. Now, we know that in reality, that the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, but for the argument, the premises lead to the conclusion. Now, another form of argument is a question-begging argument. Now, for example, the argument, a queeb keeps failing his assignments because a queeb isn't smart. Now, this argument doesn't take into consideration other reasons for failure, such as his laziness or poor time management. Therefore, there are other counter examples to show that the premise is false. Now, not all arguments are logically valid. The premises can be true, but the conclusion is false. We have to figure out what the argument is, and this could help map out the pattern. For example, if Bryce is a Morehouse student, then Bryce is a college student. Bryce is not a Morehouse student. Therefore, Bryce is not a college student. These premises can be true, but the conclusion is false. Bryce could be attending another college, such as Clark Atlanta University or Duke. So, this argument is called denying the antecedent. It's an invalid. If A, then B. Not A, than not B. So in class, we discussed various patterns of arguments. The most important part of this lesson is to be able to tell the difference between valid arguments and invalid arguments.